Hello, hello. We are at it live for the first time for opening week one of CSA. I've got Carl here. Carl, man, I have not actually tested to see what your mic audio sounds like. Where are you at for volume, sir? oh, oh, oh. It's not even coming through on my OBS. That's beautiful. Oh my god. I love it here. You're not. I don't think you're muted. All right, try talking again. What is going on here? Because hey, you're not muted. Audio controls. Yeah, your microphone says you're coming through. Get internal beaches there. I'm sure it's gonna love me. You know what? We're just gonna turn on. Here, try and go ahead and talk here. Alright, yeah.
Earth to Boz.
Yeah, you're coming through there, and we're gonna have to just use it as desktop audio and call it good.
Okay, hey.
All right.
If it works, man.
Hey, man, whatever gets us to the stream and succeeding would be great. Okay, so now that I've got your audio set up, we've got my audio good. All right, people, CSA Week 1, we've got your New Orleans Nightmares versus the Akron Kings. We are, I believe, waiting for Lobby to come up here.
I'm DMing one of my novice players right now. He says they're waiting for a response from the New Orleans team. So until that happens, we just have to bide some time. I guess I can talk a little bit about my Akron novice team. It just so happens that, well, obviously I got to watch them play last week when I streamed their game. I do not believe they won that one, but my professional team just scrimmed them about an hour and a half ago in preparation for today's games, and we did sweep them. But it's professional versus novices, what it is. But they played really well. Multiple games were close. I have a lot of faith after that scrim that this Akron novice team can do some damage in this league, 100%. So we will and obviously I've never seen the New Orleans novice team play, so this will be a first. But yeah, I have high hopes for my guys here in Akron.
Your guys are home team, right?
I believe so, yes.
Does home team make?
Home team does make, and yeah, they're the ones that sent me the lobby info, so they have it good and ready to go. But again, still just waiting for that New Orleans response. I mean, if you can contact any of your guys on the New Orleans novice team.
I think New Orleans is waiting. I think New Orleans is waiting on your guys. Because he messaged me and he goes, hey, lobby's not up. And I'm like,
oh, okay.
I think this is a Mexican standoff for everybody's pointing going,
I think it is.
Lobby. First week, people. First week. Goodness.
Okay, I DM'd them. I think.
We'll see. I mean,
like I do have it entered, right? It's AKR NOV, and then
whoa! Your audio's live.
Oh yeah, sorry. Forgot about that.
God.
If you're listening, I didn't actually say that, and I was kidding. That's not the lobby info. I said that on purpose.
Oh man, I had it happen before once where we were getting an MLE game live, and somebody had accidentally said it live, so we had two random people from the stream just jump right in.
Oh man,
that was
luckily for us. I guess you do have 4 or 5 viewers, but luckily this isn't a super populated stream yet to where that might happen. Why are they just not respond? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think the problem is your guys are waiting for this lobby, and
but like they're not. One of the guys was typing to me, and now he's just not anymore. After I told him,
brother, do I?
I just can't. I cannot find the server. It says it's up. I can't find the server. What? I might have him check the info. Because I know I typed it in right. The other team is in, is what I'm getting.
I'm joining. I'm getting in. Oh goodness.
How is that possible? I'm typing in the correct private match information, and it says unable to find server.
That's a
I've
great.
now quadruple checked the information that I've typed.
That's a great, great question.
Oh,
Did you type up one
hold
of the
on a
things
minute.
wrong?
No, I didn't, but they might have.
Because yeah, that's what I just sent you is what they
They
typed.
typed in ARC, and it's not ARC, it's AKR, because it's Akron.
Oh goodness. Let me make sure. Well, first time running through. Let's go ahead and see if my OBS is even remotely ready as I pop up to the Rocket League tab.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them to start here, as I'm sure they are all good to go. Yeah, just a miscommunication there. They apparently they thought Akron was pronounced Archon, so which
Beautiful,
it is
beautiful.
what it is, you know. It's a great start to the game. We're already 5 minutes behind schedule. I love it.
Hey,
That couldn't be more. It couldn't be more Rocket League if we
first
weren't 5
time,
minutes behind
first
schedule.
time ever. We're golden, we're golden. But we get CSA Week 1 kicked off. Um, incredible way to actually get everybody on the pitch and finally playing. We've got our players popping off here. Mr. Dondo RF putting the shot on. AK unfortunately unable to elevate and swat that away. So looks like opening blood is going to go towards the towards New Orleans Nightmare team.
Yeah, run through the players here. On Akron, we have Ab, Spectre, Bank Shark, and Atkins. And on the New Orleans Nightmares team, we have Cobb, Dondo, and Blizzy. I do know that Dondo and Blizzy are both staff members. I believe Dondo's the GM of New Orleans, and Blizzy is just an upper staff member to the league in general. No one. Oh, as we get a shot here coming in from Akins, Bank Shark with a great pass to the backboard with no boost, but his teammate able to follow it up. That's an excellent play from him to start off. And yeah, one thing I did notice while screaming this Akron Novice team a little bit ago is that these guys, all three of them, have some ability in the air. You know, whether it's solo play, whether it's passing, whether it's banging, these guys can definitely play in the air. And as we just saw from there, Bank Shark with an excellent air dribble to hit it high and have a good passing for his team as Aiken's trying to get a shot. This should be wide open for Ab Spectre, and it is. Early lead here, 2-1 for Akron.
Well, in difficult spot here as I slip over to the replay tab. Oh, beautiful. I love that my Carl is rocking and ready to go. we'll jump back to the regular stream here because I had it all linked up. I could have swore ready to rock for a little bit of replay talk about the positioning for this team because AB Spectre is just placed well. They are ready to read the play. Yep. They are ready to sit for the pass or even just the miss, and they are punishing this New Orleans Nightmare team pretty early on.
I usually just utilize the in-game replay for my analysis, but I do like it if you have an actual replay set up. That would be pretty nice.
Oh!
As this one's just going to fall over Dondo's head. He was in an awkward spot, maybe pushed up just a tad too far. Looks like Atkins just going to hit this one downfield. Yeah, Dondo, unfortunately, as third man, just a little bit too far upfield. Maybe not expecting a bang there from Akins or Atkins, but unfortunate as, yeah, the positioning so far is favoring the Akron Kings and less so the New Orleans Nightmares as we continue in this game one.
Ooh, Bank Shark, great touch away. Cobb, not a lot of boost, decides to push up and try to keep this play alive. Spectre with the deep touch is putting Dono in an awkward spot who has to elevate and dive and swat it away. Oh, Blizzy. We're seeing a lot of volleying going on from this New Orleans Nightmares team. They just seem to be really shoving it down the pitch, not wanting to play for the control, which really is not paying off well. I'm not going to lie. The Akron Kings are utilizing control a fair bit better to their advantage, and it's paying off.
Absolutely. Definitely a hole being dug here for New Orleans as they're 2 goals down early. Potentially it might be 3 as an interesting touch there from Bank Shark almost went in, but I believe it was Blizzy who had the last ditch save there. None of the players, it looks like, have any boost, which I'm not sure is possible. There's tons of boost on this map. Just some bumping activity here from New Orleans. Akins is going to be able to get this one outfield, but it's just going to go right to Dondo, who has some boost to make a play happen. He does get bumped, though, during that air dribble attempt. Atkins with an unfortunate cooks or miss. Blizzy in the Dominus, a red Dominus at that, trying to get some damage here done on offense for the New Orleans Nightmares. A good touch out for Cobb, who does put a shot on, but Akins will be able to save that away, no problem. Blizzy doing some chaos work here on the blue half, trying to get bumps or anything he can. Cobb with a nice little pop up there mid, but Ab Spectre going to block it away. Blizzy with a nice touch. And Akins going to be able to throw this one away. So, I mean, some offense being made here for New Orleans, but nothing super threatening as Akron seems to have a control on their defensive line.
Speaking of opportunities here, Blizzy, not a lot of boost, has to leave this for his teammate. Cobb hits the ball a little too early and is met with a stonewall defense from this Akron Kings team. Popped up high, Bank Shark elevates, uses all their boost to push it up for the pass. Looks like a redirect here from Spectre, but it's swatted away by Dondo. It stays 3-1 for another couple seconds, but my man, I am kind of surprised. You called it out earlier. This New Orleans Nightmares team is struggling to maintain boost. And there is just a tremendous amount of pads being left on the pitch. I would love to see these players really just kind of picking up as they go so they can stay in the play a little bit longer, try to generate some more offense, and hopefully start equalizing the score.
Absolutely. And that's, boost management, boost control, and boost awareness are all things that it's definitely something that higher level players, you can tell they excel at more so than the lower level players. So, not surprised to see some boost being left out on this field. But as these players play more and climb ranks, that's something that will definitely just develop with time. Cobb with a nice shot there, good angle from him, but Akron able to save that one away. Blizzy goes missing there, potentially an open shot here from Ab Spectre, but just gonna hit that one to the side, and Dondo's there to hit it away. A lot of players up here going toward the net, that ball is, but Blizzy going to be able to take control of this one. Just one player back for Akron, but a good job from him on Ab Spectre to get over back to that net. I thought he was going to be able to, or he was too far out. A bump from Bank Shark, that's excellent, but just a miss there from Atkins. No boost and an awkward shot from him, but nonetheless an excellent heads-up play there from Bank Shark.
Dondo.
As 30 seconds left, and nothing's really happened here so far, Boz, for this New Orleans team.
Well, they had a porous defense that was just letting up a lot early on, and it looks like they've figured out maybe a bit more of a better rotation to help stifle some of this offensive prowess coming out of the Akron Kings. As I said, that Spectre in the waiting again almost got yet another goal from a well-placed rotation, but Dondo is going to be able to shove this out. 4 seconds left to be played. This is definitely going to be in favor of the Akron Kings here. But my man,
The Archon Kings,
the Archon
according
Kings.
according to the winner of this game.
Oh goodness.
That's hopefully a mistake that is only a week one mistake. I'm hoping that the spelling of Akron is solidified as future weeks go on. Is the server good for y'all? I think it is. He's asking everybody what's going on there. So I mean, yeah. General thoughts about that game one? Just some positioning issues. It looked like from New Orleans, boost issues for both teams rather, but just early on, like you mentioned, just some unfortunate mishaps on the New Orleans defensive line, and they kind of dug themselves a hole that they just couldn't get out of.
You're definitely not wrong. This Akron team really didn't do anything that was incredibly special. They really were just punishing a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
The New Orleans side, yes, horrifically porous defense, and I think a lot of it came down to a lack of good boost management. We saw just a substantial amount of plays where all three players, or even 2 out of 3 players, were sitting dead empty. They couldn't really get back into the play. The ball was just a little bit outside their reach. And yeah, to see that this Akron team can just sit there and punish, that is a team you're going to have to look out for. A team that's just going to do the fundamentals, just take the basics, and take the free goals, as compared to a team that needs to do a whole lot to get the ball in the net.
And especially, you have to bring it up in this league, which is one of the lower leagues in this one of the lower divisions in this league. Mistakes will be made. Obviously mistakes happen in every tier, every division, but yeah, good job telling them not to wait. But in Novice especially, mistakes will happen. Some of these players are, they're good at Rocket League for sure, but mistakes will happen. And if you're able to be the team that can just wait for those mistakes and punish them at a consistent rate, you're absolutely right. It's a team you're going to have to look out for as weeks go by. As we get started here in this in this match too. I forgot to ask you for your prediction before this all started, so I guess I'll do it after game one. What are your predictions for this series as we get going here?
Brother, as we're getting the series kind of underway, I was gonna say, hey, let me glaze my home franchise. Let me talk about how great New Orleans is. I know these guys; they're great. And now I'm sitting here like, if they can stabilize their defense, if they can find a way to
Woo.
just maintain some more boost, stay in the play a little longer, I think this is the kind of team that can hang with anyone. But it's entirely dependent on how they play this game too, and then the rest of the series so far. I guess since you're representing Akron, what is your unbiased opinion of the situation?
I I would have picked Akron before we started, just because, of course, I saw them play an hour and a half ago and they looked really good. But I was, regardless of this, I was probably going to go Akron in four. I think New Orleans will definitely find a game. Novice is a very variable league. Like, there are games where even a good team will just not play super well. And especially as these guys play further and start to figure out each other, I think we're going to see an open net here from Blizzy. We are. Whoever was the third man here for Akron just finding themselves a little bit too far up. It was Akins, and he had the beat on Blizzy there on the sidewall, but just unfortunately going missing, and that will be an open net goal there for Blizzy to get things going. Goal early is huge for New Orleans, but 3.5 minutes, that's a lot of time still.
Oh yeah, 3.5 minutes is a lot of time. We could see probably 8 more goals scored with the way these two teams have been playing. Um, but definitely not bad to start off with the right foot here. Cobb shoving it down the pitch here. They're going to dive at it with not a lot of boost, so they're just going to have to split the 50 and hope for the best. Blizzy with the follow, a favorable pinch that's going to separate from the wall just enough, but AK read that pretty darn well. Cobb, awkward spot, has to back up, grab the 100, turning back in. No, rough touch as they center it up here for what could have been AK's opening goal of this game. Blizzy putting their body on the line, able to clear that away. With 3 minutes left to be played, I know we say it's a lot to go on, but 40 seconds of just back and forth pong is definitely not what we saw in the original game.
No, but I mean, if back and forth pong is what's going on, I would say that's better than whiffing.
True,
All
true.
things considered, there are worse options. While ping pong back and forth is not usually the way to go, there are in fact worse options. And we saw some of those worse options in game one from New Orleans, just a couple misses and whiffs that led to Akron goals. But hey, if we can consistently bang the ball back to the Akron side every time it's in our half, that's going to work out for New Orleans, I think, as we almost saw an opportunity there just outside for that New Orleans offensive shot. Akins. This one's just going to fall right back to Spectre, who takes control, but unfortunately gives it away there. A good save, but I think multiple players might have gone. Atkins, I think, is going to have a free ball here as he's able to get this one down the pitch. Atkins waiting for an orange touch. We will see one, but maybe not the best touch there from Dondo, as I think he wanted some more power. Bank Shark, a good double tap. Maybe a shot there from Atkins. That goes wide. Another follow-up shot here from Spectre, and Akron just peppering the corners of the net, but just not able to find anything right now.
Well, and for any of the viewers at home, I did go ahead and pull up a top-down overview that just really shows how these two teams are rotating pretty well. As you can see from this Akron side, you really aren't seeing a lot of times where they're in the same quadrant. They're really backing off. They're letting their teammates establish a good bit of offense in almost an isolation way. And like right there, AB Spectre sitting right there as the established two-man, 70 boost in the tank. That is what has been turning into goals. I'm not sure why it's now not working because I don't feel like New Orleans has changed a lot of their playstyle so far.
We almost saw an absolutely crazy double there from Bank Shark. Unfortunately, he just didn't have boost and no one on his team there to help him out with the miss. But I mean, yeah, and when you look at Rocket League as a game, positioning and rotation are, you could say, a higher level, more difficult thing to master. As you climb the ranks, those are just things that are more important where they aren't so important in the silvers and the golds. And in those ranks, you just want to hit the ball. So if you're a novice team and you can solidify your positioning and your rotations and you can be spaced out consistently, that's going to lead to, like you said, goals for you. It's going to lead to more confident saves, more confident passes between players. And so far, I agree with you. I like what I'm seeing on the positioning and the rotation side from Akron. as we see a bump play there from Bank Shark. 15 seconds left. They've had a lot of offensive opportunities, but unfortunately, just no goals as they need to make something happen now. A big 50 there from Ab Spectre. Bank Shark is going to have to ego this one, and he does. A good touch out there to AB, who has to touch that one down. Aiken's going to challenge this one. This does not look like a really scoreable opportunity here from Akron, and it will not be. An unfortunate game 2 drop for them, as I felt that they had a lot of offensive presence in that game.
I, I'm in agreement. I really didn't think New Orleans was going to take game 2 with the way they were playing. I felt like they were on the back foot for 90% of the game. They were really having to dive, utilize a lot of their boost in a way that's not going to establish a counterattack. They just have to quickly elevate and swat something away. I have a really strong feeling Akron might be taking games 3 and maybe game 4 here.
I mean, as an Akron homer, I'd say that's awesome. I'd say yeah. I'd say hell yeah. You know, why not? I think they know what they're doing here, and I think that game 2 was, I don't know if I want to call it fluky, but the fact that they didn't come away with any goals in that game seems to me like that's not going to continue. I mean, we had that Bank Shark double tap that almost found its way home. And if anybody on their team was even remotely close, that would have been a free goal. They had a series of like 3 or 4 shots in a row where they were just peppering it to the outsides of the goal and just not able to find their way in. So I definitely think as these games continue, Akron is going to take care of more of those opportunities. And I mean, if you're New Orleans, looking at the other side of the coin, if you can allow 0 goals, you're going to win every game you play. And it doesn't matter if you only put 1 in, because I will say their offense hasn't looked super great to start this series in the first 2 games. I think that's only 2 goals through 2 games. If your defense can lock up and you can deny shots on net constantly, hey, it doesn't matter if you only put up 1 or 2 goals. You're going to win those games.
Well, I will go ahead and get us back to the Rocket League action here as we are back at it on the pitch. Bank Shark, a lot of control here. Gets a second touch, is able to get past Dondo, and Cobb has to quickly dive to clear this away. That, I swear, Bank Shark is really in the waiting looking for that clip of the week action with a double touch off the aerial. They were right there.
Absolutely. As Aikens going to take this one to the corner, gets a solid first touch, but then will just get dunked by Dondo. Should be a free clear for Bank Shark with no boost to continue, but he's going to do it anyway as he gets almost a bump there on Cobb. His 2 teammates have boost and are waiting. Ab Spectre maybe with a solo opportunity as he's getting pre-jumped by Dondo. That's an excellent challenge from him to take away that offensive opportunity. A tough 50 there for the blue team here as Bank Shark, no boost again. Every time I look at these players, I just feel like they have absolutely no boost as Bank Shark picks up a pad, gets a double. Man, some of these Bank Shark doubles, you'd think they got to start finding their way in. As I mentioned in the scrim, these guys, they can play high. They can take the ball into the air. They can get multiple touches. They can get doubles. So as these games continue, I'm sure Bank Shark will get at least one, as that was a ridiculous reset. I think he got the reset off this ball on top of it. Dondo with just a bizarre touch, and I'm not sure how that one found its way in the net, Boz.
My man, I am just as shook as you are. I'm looking at Akron, looking at Bank Shark quickly elevating for shots, and I'm going, wow, this is who's gonna easily get goal number 1. And then of all things touched, that's the goal. That's what we got for goal number 1. Just absolute luck on the side of the New Orleans Nightmares. AK, a little bit of miscommunication here as they get a double commit. Let's going to elevate high, looking for Dondo. No, AK is going to elevate quickly and shove that away. AB Spectre puts it on target. Cobb, the
save.
bend, dope, break defense that we are seeing from New Orleans Nightmare is night and day from the first 2.5 minutes from game 1.
Absolutely. I mean, you could watch the way that they've defended not this game, but last game as well. And yeah, just a different looking team from game 1. In game 1, it looked like they had absolutely 0 cohesion. They didn't know what they wanted to do defensively. They were missing balls straight up, like whether or not you have the rotations and you know what you want to do. If you're missing the ball, it's just over for you. I mean, and that's what was going on in game 1. But an excellent job by them to adapt and improve and shore up those mistakes in these future games, because yeah, the defense we saw in game 1, if that continues, they're not winning many games. As Blizzy gets a pinch downfield, Bank Shark gonna have to, well, gets his boost taken by Blizzy. That sucks, as now he has no follow-up. Dondo, a nice touch off the corner, maybe a follow from him as to Akron players dive for that one. As I mentioned, that two-player dive, I will say that I feel like there has not been a ton of double commits. And in Novice, that's definitely something you might be expecting to see is, lower ranks, the players, maybe their comms aren't great, but so far, not a super high amount of double commits, which I commend these players for.
You're definitely not wrong. That was kind of one of the reasons why I was flabbergasted when I saw it earlier from, I believe it was AK and AB Spectre, because it happened so infrequently through games 1 and 2 that once it did occur for like the first time in game 3, it was like, wow, are we really watching Novice or are we watching a higher series? Do we just jump the gun a little bit on the run? But I guess this is just a high level competition you're going to get out of CSA here. Bank
Wow,
Shark,
what a
great out.
touch.
What a touch to clear that away to the left. Bank Shark, looking to follow it up, maybe get the counterattack established quickly, is going to be cut short as Dondo shoves it back into the corner. A mistouch, miscue here as Cobb, no boost, dives in, pushes it center, and that's going to be cleared away. Minute 23 left to be played. And with how great the defense has really stepped up here for New Orleans, I don't know, shy of an absolute clip of the week worthy clip from Bank Shark, if we're going to see a goal from Akron.
Yeah, you might not be wrong. I mean, I do think it's both sides of the coin. I think the offense has slowed down a little bit. Maybe it's the aggression that slowed down a little bit from um this Akron offense. But what I'm noticing from New Orleans is that they have a guy back. There is a guy third, deep third in the net, watching anything available at all times, and that's working as I. You might have just spawned that shot in. You might have just
I might
spawned
have
it
just
in
talked it into existence. Yeah.
because highlight clip of the week double. What an angle, Bank Shark. Are you kidding me? I cannot do that. I can't do that. I'm a GC. I cannot do that. I cannot make that shot. That's an excellent shot from Bank Shark, and it's exactly what they needed. You said they needed an absolute highlight reel shot from Bank Shark to get some momentum, and hopefully that's exactly what they get from that is some momentum and some more aggressive and higher consistency shot opportunities. We're going to see another one right here. I really do think that one should have been a goal. It was pretty open for the most part from Ab Spectre, but just couldn't find his way in. Shots it right at the defender there. A mistouch there. Ab should be leaving this for a teammate. He does, but no one there to help him out as Blizzy's gonna be able to cut that one off. Bank Shark touching this mid. No one there to help. No players for Akron back, but enough of a touch there from AB to get it out of the way. 5 seconds left. A big bang there from Bank Shark. A pop up from Dondo, and we might see overtime here in game 3. My goodness, yeah, what a clutch shot there from Bank Shark to tie this game up, and now we've got OT.
Oh, good shot. Oh, it's going to be cleared away from AK Dondo, wanting first blood out of OT right out of the gate. Decides to take the pretty level shot here. Dondo elevates, pops to center. Bank Shark a lot faster to the ball. Is going to be able to follow this with another touch. Splits the 50. Blizzy pushing this away with ease. AK keeps it center. Tries to split the 50 yet again with Cobb. Blizzy's looking for an outlet pass to Cobb here, who's down pitch. No, Cobb dives all the way back. Doesn't really want to sit up pitch and establish a good possible passing play. So instead, Cobb's going to have to take the deep touch and just try to pop it over a team that, like you said, is very comfortable playing off the ground. I'm not certain if a deep, high touch is going to be exactly what we need, but a waterfall opportunity puts it in Cobb's goal. Or Cobb puts in the goal. Sorry, can't speak here. Got a little excited. And New Orleans is going to take game 3.
Yeah, just an excellent dive there from Cobb. Had the advantage over two Akron defenders who just couldn't get up to match the height that Cobb had on that 50, and he is just going to shove that one right into the net. I mean, dang, that sucks to see, man. I really thought that Akron would have a stronghold on this series after watching the scrim and after watching game 1. I didn't really think this was going to be terribly close at all. Yeah, looking back at we see the replays just on the menu here. We saw that super lucky goal there from New Orleans to start the game, and that's just how it goes sometimes. I mean, Rocket League is a game where skill is a large part of it, but luck is definitely involved. And man, just hoping that Akron can figure out in this game 4 and not lose this series 3-1. I had high hopes for them, but I still have faith. I think they're gonna take this next game, and I think at minimum we're going to a game 5.
I think at a minimum we're going to a game 5 here. I don't particularly see that we're going to be getting an end to the series here this next game. But I'm not going to lie, 5 saves from Cobb this game to keep them alive is bonkers. And then you could see him late game heroics, overtime goal, beautiful, beautiful story to be written here.
Absolutely. Logged into this game 4 here. We got Arc versus Non. As we are going to find out if, in fact, we do see a game 5. And in this game 4, I'm really looking for this AKR offense to take a step up. We saw that awesome shot last game from Bank Shark, but that's the only goal that they had. And if we're relying on crazy angle double taps to win games in Novice, we're just not playing the game right. I think we need maybe more passing plays. Maybe we need to involve more bumps. I haven't really seen a ton of targeted bumps from either team this series, and we know how valuable bumps can be if done correctly, taking players off the pitch entirely. As we see one from Blizzy, I might have spawned that one in. I think we actually know what's going on before it happens here, Boz.
We have the magic ball for sure. To speak
There's another bump. I mean, come on, like what are we doing here?
Oh God, my man. Well, I saw it from Dondo earlier where he would rotate up and he would look for the goal keep. And I don't know if it was just that Akron was playing a little bit off the ground, so he just wasn't able to make connection. But all in all, they really were diving in. I just think Akron was playing a little bit too quick in the first 2 games to prevent the demo from occurring. I think now, especially that the pace of play has become a bit more methodical, a bit more thought through, players are finding themselves more in the way of murder chances. So for
Absolutely.
sure, we're gonna see definitely some more demos here in Game 4. Oop, Blizzy.
I'm looking at the roster sheet here, and I just want to shout out Cobb for that last game. He's the 3rd rounder on this team, and he put up a definitely deserving MVP level performance in that last game with 5 saves and the winning goal. So just want to shout out him for not being a top player and still putting the impact in. I thought maybe a shot opportunity would come in there for Akron, but someone went missing. Blizzy with a good little pop there. Bank Shark up. Another double. You have to be kidding me. I thought he was going to can that one. I thought that one would be a shot too, and Blizzy able to just get the nose of his long octane to get a touch there. 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes left, and I guess, I mean, the shot opportunities have been there. They've had some good opportunities, but just not able to cash anything in yet. I mean, yeah, both teams just kind of going back and forth here. Nothing super duper close. Dondo gets a good pinch, but it is out mid. Ab Spectre with a shot opportunity, and that is nowhere near the net. These guys might need to hit some shooting training in the off season, like during the weeks when we don't have matches. A good save there from Blizzy. Just under 3 minutes, and yeah, still no goals.
What a pinch from Blizzy, though, to push it up the pitch. Blizzy with 100 in the waiting is going to get 50 through by Bank Shark. Cobb using a little bit of boost to actually catch that, avoid the half volley, and try to retain some possession. Definitely a much different pace of play than we saw in the first couple games. AB Spectre almost pulled out the protractor from the high point and just take a shot on net. Speaking of AB Spectre, tries to get it past Dondo, can't quite get it past that wall of defense that this New Orleans Nightmares team has just been throwing out. AB looking for the pass for AK. Weird pop by Dondo. Not sure if that was intentional or if that was just an incredible bounce touch, but that was pretty.
And yeah, I'd have to think that was a little bit of a lucky touch there from Dondo. What a touch it was! As now we finally see a slot from this Akron Kings team. I was just about to say that I think part of it is their lack of shooting accuracy, but part of it is just that the New Orleans Nightmares so far have been in all the right places on defense. They're in front of all the balls they have to be. They're challenging the right ways. That time it was a dive from Blizzy, but just that one was shot placement. That, they were 2 players back for New Orleans, but it didn't matter. Bank Shark with an excellent job there to just find the bottom corner and finally get themselves a goal that didn't rely on a super mechanical play.
Lobby's up.
Carl,
by the way.
I think your game is up soon, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it is, but they know I'm casting, so.
No. Go jump in with yours, man. I'll come join your lobby here in a little bit so we can get the stream going.
Who just joined the call? Who was that?
That was Aqua.
Aqua is a world-class player, I think.
New Orleans has 2 different Aquas.
Do they?
Yeah.
Got it.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. Nah, dude, jump into your lobby. Get
both
get
of
game going.
I don't think there was a world class and a superstar Aqua.
Is there not?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, you have a Yapping Panda, Savage Gnome, and Pineapple. I don't think any of those guys are Aqua. So
Oh, I
I'm
think
not
he's
sure if he
trying to tell
thinks
me
that
that.
their lobby is now. I don't know, but no. I mean, I expected. I mean, they have a 40-minute. They moved the timer to 40 minutes instead of 30, I believe, in between each lobby. So my game is not technically supposed to start for another 5 minutes. So I
Well,
have no issue staying here for a little bit longer.
even then, like, we would not obviously leave with the way CSA has it planned out. To my knowledge, we would not, or I would not leave this lobby as a non-player until this
No, you
series is
wouldn't.
over, and then
You would stay.
yeah, I would stick around and wait till the series is over, and then I jump into the next series.
Maybe after this game, I'll maybe move on. But so yeah, I mean, either way, then I'm sure that we'd want to still wait for casting to start our series. So I'm just planning to be here the whole time. It's no problem really. I'm warmed up enough.
Well, with
As yeah,
two,
2-0. I mean, the New Orleans not able to find any offense in this game four, as we will be seeing a game five as we predicted. That game, the Action Kings doing a much better job of taking advantage of some offensive opportunities, just overall playing more aggressive, as that is something that they're going to have to take into game five if they want to take this series.
for sure, and I think realistically, going into this last match, this game five, it's really anybody's game. Like I would hate to say like, oh yeah, it's clearly going to be Akron, or it's clearly going to be New Orleans, but both sides really have shown some highlights and some pretty bad lowlights in the first few games, and it's really just going to see who can really make it all connect here in Game Five.
I mean, yeah, you just got to think from Novice that you kind of will see the high ceiling and low floor type of plays, just as these players get more consistent as they play more Rocket League. But yeah, you're totally not wrong there with the we've seen some highlights and some lowlights.
How did Blizzy
I mean,
forget what
yeah,
the series score was?
yeah, he's not locked in at all.
Lock in, dude. You want to win.
Seriously, he thinks he might think it's over or something. I don't know what he thinks.
He's like, it's time for a break. We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
God. Now, 2-2, we are getting underway into game five. Series on the line for match one, week one, I should say, for these two CSA franchises. So we will see kind of how things go from here.
You know what I think
Goodness.
you know what I think he joined the call for? I'm pretty sure the world class team plays their first match during this novice game.
Oh,
Like their first match, like the one not on stream. So I don't know, maybe he thinks that they're supposed to be streamed? I don't know. That's my guess. But either way, loading into this quintessential game five for these two teams here, looking to cap off week one of CSA action with a win here. I guess I'm not terribly sure if either of these teams won or lost their first series. I take it you don't know that information?
unfortunately, I don't know that information myself.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a place to go. I don't know that. That's maybe a question for non-Sundays as we sure up just the general processes of CSA as the weeks go by. Maybe it's in the sheet somewhere. I'm not seeing it. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm hoping that both these teams won their first lobby, as obviously we wish the best for everybody. A minute down, no goals yet. Cobb with a dribble play, and he's
Ooh.
going to find his way into the net with a nice little control play from him. Taking a look at this replay to see exactly what happened. Just Bank Shark back with no boost. He had to go, and Cobb just gets around him. I'm not sure if that was just a good touch from him or a misclick from Bank Shark. It could have been either one. Regardless, capping off this first minute of Rocket League as Cobb will put these New Orleans Nightmares up 1-0.
It's definitely got to be a little bit of both. It takes two to tango for sure, but we'll see as this. Got to lean back a little bit, a little too far in my chair. Akron Kings team is just already coming out swinging. They know how important Game 5 is going to be and everything that rides on the line here, so they do not want to find themselves down a series. AK, Dondo, rushing for the ball here. AK gets it underneath Dondo, who predicted to go a little bit higher, especially the way they've been playing before. AB has to read that pinch ball, takes control, elevates past one, stuffs it through Blizzy, so it stays in favor of the Akron Kings. Bank pops at center. It is cleared away. Cobb, not a lot of boost, dives in and shoves it all the way down the pitch and immediately flips the opportunities. We have a Rule 1 Cobb
Let's go.
and AK in the corner. I think this is
I
bad
will.
for New Orleans actually. That's
Yeah,
their
I was
leading
just about
defender.
to point out. I was going to take it the other way. Akins is the first rounder on this Akron team, and Cobb is the third. But, I pointed out last game, Cobb's been playing excellently today. So, you know, the rounds don't necessarily matter. But, yeah, since Cobb is playing excellently, that might hurt New Orleans. Or it is just evenly matched because Akins is their first rounder. And this one might be in. I think the Rule 1 has mobilized. It has. Both Akins just driving Cobb down the field. I love that both players are respecting it. Booming 50 there from Dondo. A shot potential opportunity for him. Bumps Bank Shark again. Has to make a save, and he doesn't. What a snipe from Blizzy. And a good bump as well on Bank Shark from Dondo. Bank Shark surely had this touch. Dondo gets the touch and the bump, and then finishing the job. There's Blizzy with an excellent crossbar down shot. And now we have a hole for Akron. I mean, they got to get to work, man.
Brother, I think that might be the play. Get Cobb, get AK back in the corner. If you're New Orleans, get that Rule 1 reestablished ASAP. Holy cow. Dondo trying to push down the pitch here. Unable to do so. Why is my screen doing this? This is beautiful. Bank Shark elevates, favorable bounce, gets the double touch read. We're looking for another clip heavy moment from Bank Shark, but instead Cobb pushes it all the way down the pitch. I was actually flabbergasted. I really thought that with as good as Cobb has played, that this New Orleans team was going to suffer in the rotational play without him. But I mean, Dondo and speaking of it,
There we
AK putting
go.
goal
There we
number
go.
1 in. I was gonna say Dondo and Blizzy were able to figure it out as a 2-man, but get him back in the Rule 1. Let's go. Get him back in the Rule 1.
I would be pretty floored if they intentionally just ripped back the Rule 1. That would make for some pretty funny moments. Oh my goodness. Both players going missing. A good shot there from Cobb. It's not going to be a shot, but it's a pass. Good enough for Blizzy to finish this one home as he faked 2 Akron Kings players out of their minds. That is really tough to see. I mean, Cobb absolutely proving why he was kept on this roster and not cut as the third man. He is playing an excellent series so far.
Cobb might be the GOAT.
He might. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you there. He might be the GOAT.
That is an absurd fake with no boost to say, yeah, I don't need to split the 50. I'll take the fake. That is such a big brain play in the moment. But as I stop glazing my team here, we get back into it. AB cleared away. AK tries to get the follow, but Cobb able to block yet another shot on the night. I gotta check the stats here. Cobb's already got 2 more saves in this game. A 3-way friends pinch almost gets in the goal. Dude, I think Cobb has like 9 saves in this series.
That makes
Not
sense
that
as
one,
you
though.
say it. An unfortunate, yeah, he will not be getting that one. But that was maybe a team pinch. I have to watch this one back. Akins with a flip. Now Ab Specter just diving on that good midfield pass from Akins and able to get it by the 2 New Orleans defenders as we have some life now for the Akron Kings. A minute to go. Scoring a goal a minute is an extremely, that's reasonable. That's entirely possible that Akron Kings score here. I'm obviously hoping they do as a double bump comes in. An excellent touch there from Akins as the only guy left alive on his team. Had to make a touch and did. Cobb going to maybe try to waste some time here, but a good dive from Akins. A beat from Spectre, and that's 2 now Nightmares players that have gone missing. I don't know why they're being so frank to jump. That's a good shot, but a better save from Blizzy. Maybe a stealing shot here from Bankshaw because that's mid. This one is wide mid. I can't believe no one's here to shoot this from Akron. Where is everybody? Oh, you hate to see that, Boz. I thought for sure a goal would be found there.
I for sure thought somebody was going to score, whether it was an own goal or just an intentional one. But holy cow, this New Orleans team has finally managed a way to clutch up Game 5. Yeah, that's it. That's game. That's series.
Wow.
New Orleans winning 5-game series 3-2.
All right, I'm just gonna quickly not do anything and leave because I have to go.
Catch you in a little bit. Just shoot me the lobby info.
We'll see in the next one.
Yeah, I was gonna say shoot me the lobby info.
Yeah, I got you. Well, it'd be the same. It's the same thing, just pro instead of Nav. But I'll
Ah,
actually make it
got it, got
AKR
it.
this time.
Got it. Well, let me get off this screen. Let me get back to my camera so that we definitely don't need to show that lobby info to everybody. Holy cow! New Orleans clutching up, incredible defense through Game 5. I still flabbergasted. I don't know how they figured it out. I don't know how they got their defensive lines together in those last 30 seconds. It looked like they were just throwing everything. I mean, probably even the kitchen sink. But holy cow, that is insane. I caps all Sag. Ah, oh, gosh. Get wrecked, nerd. Oh, God. So I believe it would be... Ah, I love this. I love that I now need to hunt down... We are going to take a quick break. I will throw you to the city of New Orleans while we figure out what the lobby info is going to be. Be right back. So we have 6, which is great, except for the fact that I'm not playing. Okay, we have 7 now. We're good. All right, let's get right into the Rocket League action. We are now getting into the professional line of your CSA Week 1 matchups between the Akron Kings versus the New Orleans Nightmares. New Orleans, for those of you who are just tuning in, just took the opening series in the lower tier. So this will be a great opportunity for Carl, who is just on the desk, is now going to be able to potentially find some revenge for his franchise. Savage Gnome tries to get over one, can't. Yapping Panda pushing up, decides to take the 100 piece and leave the boost and ball for Cyan. Sorry, leave the ball for Cyan. Carl splits the 50. Pineapple able to clear this away. That's a strong 50. Holy cow. Pushing it all the way down the pitch. Savage, not a lot of boost. Difficult spot if you're New Orleans. There's a bump on one. Yapping Panda drops it to Savage. Savage getting the flick up. Can't get it over Cyan. This is a lot of danger for New Orleans already. They're playing pretty bad back in their back third. I would love to see them be able to find more spacing and maybe get off the back third and not have to find themselves in difficult saving situations. Panda, ooh, awkward, as that bounced high off the backboard and left Cyan for the opening goal. 1 minute having elapsed here. Whew. This is just crazy. These two teams really starting off the match strong. We'll see here as Carl and Savage split the opening kickoff. Panda elevates, decides to drop it down. Decaf waiting patiently. Wow, Panda obliterates Scion and opens up the goal. Not a great follow-up shot, but you love to see the team really starting to look for these rotational opportunities and eliminate the back defensive line from the opposing team. Carl splits the 50 with Savage. Ooh, Decaf drops down. Scion's a little bit too far back to be an established two-man. Can't quite corral the ball, so a shot will not be made here. And instead, this is going to stay, wow, it's going to stay in favor of Akron, as they just will not let up the pressure. They will not let the ball clear the halfway mark. Great shot by Carl, catching the goalie a little bit too far past the back post, and is able to slot that behind in a way that Savage cannot get back for. I just realized my Carl didn't reset. Goodness. Pineapple. No, yapping Panda. A little bit of miscommunication there maybe, as Panda gets it past one, isn't able to keep controlling it as Scion deletes them from existence here. Great touch by Decaf to take control, put it off the backboard, drop down the Panda that's cleared away. This, oh man. Does it still say game 6? I hope not. I could have swore I got that fixed, but oh well. It is what it is. Carl putting in yet another goal in this opening game for the Akron Kings here, as they are just destroying this New Orleans Nightmares back line. There's too much pressure for any one team to handle. Carl drops it down to Panda. Panda elevates, gets it past one, looking for control past two, can't quite get it there. So instead, Decaf splits the 50 with a nice little bit of a wall pinch here. Panda, a lot of time, a lot of boost, opts to drop it towards the center for Savage, who pops it high in center, which leaves it for Scion to follow up with a shot. Ooh, almost an awkward drop here. Scion puts another shot on target. Savage has to take a very, very non-favorable touch and just shove it down the pitch. Instead, now Carl is going to put it into the corner, leaving it for their teammates. Panda with the deep touch. No one can follow. Scion already elevated and already up and already ready to block that. I don't know personally how this New Orleans Nightmares team is going to rebound as Decaf puts yet another goal in. This is starting to kind of get out of hand here with a minute 45 left to be played. New Orleans is going to need to figure out, though, how to control the ball, look for their teammates with the infield passing, and really just hope that they can start to exploit some of the mistakes that are being made from this Akron Kings side. Savage really just tries to do a deep touch yet again. Can't get over Scion, who has the read. That bounces out of the corner. Pineapple can't quite beat Decaf to the ball. So Scion gets the pop. A little bit of a flip reset. Can't quite center for Carl, but Decaf with a really high touch. Double commit here from Pineapple and Panda. Pineapple can't re-elevate to block Decaf's shot. And now that's goal number 5 for the Akron Kings here. I'm not sure if CSA is going to make their MVP if they're going to make their MVP vote based upon just stats and wins. But if it's on stats here, I think Scion is really trying to make a case very early on in the season as Decaf puts yet another goal into the net here. Holy cow. Oh, this is one of the games of all time. Savage, Carl, getting the 50 split here. Panda gets a favorable bounce off the ceiling, but Decaf has the perfect read. Decaf with a deep touch. It's a little wide. Panda, you're going to need to touch this soon because Scion's going to be able to put a shot on. Scion, unfortunately, can't regain. Rolls over the top. Carl Looking for the pass. Pass Savage. Savage with not a lot of boost. Dives in to get the touch here. I am kind of flabbergasted as how well this Kings team is just clicking. I mean, look at that. 12 shots through game 1 so far compared to the Nightmares 4 is a criminal deficit that you just cannot let up. I don't care how great of a defense you have. If you're allowing 12 shots out of the midfield, you're going to give up some goals, even if you've got the best defense on the pitch. Carl passes it for Cyan. Cyan kind of thought Panda was going to get it there, so they left it. Decaf can't quite get it through. Savage, the double touch, the double block. Carl gets it over both defenders. Decaf puts it away. That is goal number 7 in the opening game of this Pro Series matchup. Holy cow. We'll get a kickoff here. Savage and Carl. Decaf in the waiting already. And see, that is one thing you have to look to for this Kings roster. They are ready. They're establishing the 2. They're establishing the 3. They are playing each position on the pitch perfectly. They are not looking to do a little too much. They are looking for the pass. They are looking to follow their teammates tremendously well with just the right amount of space, and it's paying off. I mean, 15 shots in game 1, converting to 7 goals. That is a level of offensive firepower and pressure that any team in this tier is going to have to be looking at and saying, okay, that's going to be a problem to stop for sure. Whew. But game 1 went in favor of Kings here. We did start the series a fair bit later than normal, so here in a second we will probably, well, once the series is over, we'll see if the next series is ready or if they're already finished. Let's see here. Career sheets. Season 1, we just finished up Novice. We're currently in Pro. We have Superstar afterwards. Technically, it's supposed to start in 3 minutes. Ooh, that first series going to 5 really kind of pushed the series back pretty well. Yeah, we've got all our players on the pitch here. We'll get game 2 underway. Panda saying it's his music not being on. We'll see how honest and truthful it is. As Pineapple tries to get to the defensive touch but can't quite get there. Yapping Panda takes the very favorable break. Carl elevates, gets the touch through 1. Pineapple drops to Savage. Savage redirects it. Carl having to do something that they didn't have to do the entirety of game 1 as Savage Gnome gets goal number 1 here in game 2 in favor of New Orleans. A little bit of bluster coming out of Panda saying good chow as goal number 1 might revitalize this New Orleans Nightmare team and hopefully establish some sort of footing after how bad game 1 went. Cyan tries to drop it over to Carl. Carl playing a little bit of position here. Savage can't quite get the touch. Carl redirecting high and center. Decaf, no. They were looking for the flip reset. They were looking for the follow-up touch, and it was just cut out a little too quickly. Pineapple pops it high and deep. Decaf with the read. Not a lot of boost, but able to get there nonetheless. Panda. Ooh. Just barely couldn't quite get their wheel on the ball, and instead is going to let this drop down. Cyan gets the flick over 1. Panda. Oh, miscommunication here. Panda, Gnome, you guys got this. Talk it out, please. You guys have too much ability to let that happen. Pineapple, that shoves across to your Decaf with a redirect. Decides to keep possession. Cyan in an awkward spot here is going to need to take a deep touch. They do. Shoving it all the way down to no man's land into that far corner. Gets the pop over 1. Savage, not a lot of boost, is able to jump, dive, and execute that clear with ease. Panda takes control, gets 1, gets 2, splits the third touch. Difficult spot for Pineapple. Pineapple pops it to Gnome. Gnome gets the elevation touch. Pineapple falls at the 50 split. That drops into the corner here. Decaf gets the far clear. Almost able to get a second touch, but not a lot of boost to redirect in the air. So instead, Carl gets to take up the mantle. Pineapple with a deep shot. Easy save from Scion, who just kind of coasted through the air and waited for the right touch, right moment. Decaf splits the 50 with Gnome. Gnome gets a very favorable bounce. Pineapple can't quite get it past the wall of Carl, so instead, Yapping Panda tries to get it over 1, get over 2, actually. Pineapple gets a little bit of a mistouch there. Splits the 50, is able to get back to the 100. Very favorable moment here that could have easily turned out to be almost damning. Panda puts it back into the 50 here. I got to go over to our top view here, which I'm sure, yep. Carl, why aren't you ever where I need you, my man? Okay. I need to zoom out almost. I mean, you can just see here, as this team, as this New Orleans Nightmares team is rotating, you can easily catch them in the same quadrant multiple times here. Yapping Panda actually sitting a little bit further back here as I got that pulled up. Both players up front with 0 boost. That's going to really delay their ability to get back in a timely fashion. Jump back into regular Rocket League action here. Panda, who's going to put it back into the corner. Gets underneath the ball, regains control, looking for a flick, gets it over 1, gets it over 2 as Panda is able to put in goal number 2. The Kings' limitless offense in goal or in game 1. Immediately they turned the fountain off and they said, hey, no more. We're going to give you a little bit of ours. Kickoff here from Decaf and Panda. Savage in the waiting. Difficult spot for Carl to follow. He's going to have to leave that first teammate. Scion puts the shot on net, and Scion gets goal number 1 here with 1:17 left to be played. That is still a tremendous, tremendous amount of Rocket League. Like I said, 1:17 here. Savage, Gnome, and Scion going for the kickoff. Carl elevates off the ceiling, not able to follow, so they have to leave it for Decaf. Decaf turns, about 30 beans in the tank, is able to split the 50 and win the 50, shoving it all the way over for Carl to take possession. Pineapple follows, good touch, but not quite good enough to get it over the approaching attacker. Panda, 53 seconds left to be played. Is this New Orleans Nightmares team going to play safe? Are they going to play defensive? Or are they going to keep the foot on the pedal and try to just convert yet another goal? As I say, the Decaf with the redirect is able to put a high touch off the backboard right into the net and slot goal number 2, the equalizer here in game 2. If you're New Orleans, do you get a little nervous? Do you look at the scoreboard and say 2-2, 38 seconds left to be played? We were up to. Is this the point where they start thinking, okay, maybe this team really is the real deal? Or do they play like Teflon players? Get the bump on the goalie. What is that miss? Savage, no! You put it just a little too high for the crossbar. The 4th defender for this Akron Kings team keeps the game alive. 2-2. Oh my gosh. That is a horrible gaffe. This New Orleans Nightmares team could have very easily gotten goal number 3. They had a perfect bump. Yapping Panda cleared the goalie. Savage Gnome, game on the line, made a critical mistake. And now we find ourselves in OT, where this Akron Kings team can easily flip the script, win game 2, and just establish an almost insurmountable deficit in the series score. Savage, Scion, jockeying for position here as Pineapple's going to shove it all the way down the pitch. Dangerous spot for Carl. Splits the 50. Perfect read, actually. Pineapple dropping it back to Panda. Panda playing for patience. Difficult spot. Could have very easily become a goal here as the protractor was almost busted out for game 2. Pineapple, deep touch here. No! Awkward touch by Decaf. Panda, though, not a lot of boost, is going to play this a little bit slower than they'd like to, and instead Scion is able to clear this away. Savage pops it high. Decaf with the follow. Pineapple unable to get it through the wall of Decaf. As much as I prefer caffeine, Decaf really comes in stone cold in the morning. Carl shoves it all the way down the pitch. Not a lot of boost to follow, but they're going to at least appear that they can. Savage gets it over 1. Scion turns, grabs the 100, takes possession out of the air, elevates it over. No, Pineapple swats that away. And in turn, it's a shot on target by Panda. A little bit more offensive pressure coming from this New Orleans team than I really thought was going to happen after such a critical missed shot opportunity right out of the regular time frame. Savage coming off the wall, awkward spot, tough redirect, pushes it all the way down the pitch, straight down the middle. Yapping Panda's unable to take a touch, so Scion elevates, looking for the flip reset, but Savage able to meet them before all 4 tires can connect with the ball, and instead, we are going to continue with another OT for we're already 2 minutes in the OT. Panda keeps ball control, grabs the 100, turns back, hits it off the ceiling. Very easy shot to block away as that immediately went straight down to the ground and awaiting defenders. Pineapple gets the push. Carl with the high elevation. Carl looking for the follow bump. Gets it. Is unable to get the shot on target. So instead, this game continues an overtime escapade of which, oh goodness, there's the shot! Yapping Panda redirects for all the power in the world and is able to get goal number 3 and game number 2 in favor of New Orleans. Incredible way to turn around an absolute beatdown in game 1. In game 2, now they find themselves up. They find themselves up 3-1 or 3-2. And get game number 2. I am flabbergasted. I mean, you look at that. Yes, you look at the Nightmare side. They had 10 shots compared to the Kings, only 8. Kings having 15 shots the game before. But my goodness, this Kings team has been rattling off incredible play after play, and it's just bonkers. Ooh. Game number 3, series possession on the line for a second. Definitely don't want to find yourself down 2-1 going into game 4. So both teams really know how important game 3 is going to be for sure. Savage Gnome doing a little bit of what we saw mostly Akron's playbook looking like. A double touch off the sidewall to maintain possession. Savage tries to get control here. Pineapple elevates. That was a perfectly slotted shot. Panda able to clear away yet another from the offensive onslaught that is Akron. Panda unable to follow. Not a lot of beans in the tank here. So instead, this is going to be control for Carl. Pineapple, 3 in the tank, 3 well used as they're able to split the 50 and allow this ball to be sunk center. Carl, deep touch. Panda playing it smart. Collects the ball, collects the 100. Is underneath the ball, still has control, splits the 50. Pineapple with the follow. No. Decaf just a little bit too quick for Pineapple to be able to keep the play alive. So a disjointed secondary attack is being mounted. Scion underneath the ball, not a lot of boost, flips it over 1. Decaf able to follow. Panda does not get the touch, so Carl can put a shot on net here, and that's going to be goal number 1 in favor of Akron. My goodness, this has just been beautiful. Shot after shot, play after play, as both franchises really want to get the game going. Panda Deep touch here. Splits the 50 with Scion. It's off the ceiling. Pineapple's already elevated. Misses the touch. Difficult spot. You want to use every opportunity you get because now Decaf has already pushed it down the pitch and Panda has to drive the length yet again for another offensive opportunity. Pineapple rips a shot top left, bins, and equalizes his game with 3 minutes and 5 left to be played. Insane. Also, I don't know if you guys can see this at home. I love the chirping on the pitch. I love these broken hearts, the cocoa, the splash from these players as they are really kind of just letting each other know, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to take some dubs. Pineapple has control, waits for the bounce off the sidewall, somehow gets it over Scion without any bit of a 50 showing. Instead, Panda, high touch, over one. Scion gets the touch here to redirect it out dead center. Pineapple clears this away. Decaf putting it high off the backboard is unable to follow for their team, but instead Panda, instead of a Akron two-man establishing the attack, Panda was able to clear this away. Carl's in a perfect spot to split the 50. Scion there. And now what a save by Pineapple. Holy cow. Pineapple said, hey, I've got the back post read. I'm ready. Let's get it. And just swats away what could have easily been the leverage needed by Akron to take charge of this series. Carl drops it down. Pineapple gets a bit of a deletion there. Removes Decaf from the pitch. So instead, Panda is going to be able to take a little bit of control here. No, Decaf, who's already back in the play, having just been deleted, shot up the pitch, immediately jumped right back into rotation as if they never left. Insane plays. Scion drops it down. Decaf with not a lot of boost tries to get a little bit of a wall pinch. Directed center. Panda steals the 100. Has the ball. A little too high here as Carl is able to clear this away. Savage puts it into the corner. Decaf with the follow. Not a lot of boost, but they're willing to set up their team. Difficult spot. Oh, no. And that's such a tough spot, right? Where Pineapple finds themselves not a lot of boost, not able to really get a perfect touch, but they know they need to get something before that ball crosses right in front of the goal. And you know what? It's just unfortunate. A bump here prevents the Decaf follow. Pineapple drops it back into the corner here. Scion. Ooh. Great save by Pineapple. Drops into the corner here. Great control here. Maintains boost. Gets it over one. Looking for the bump on Decaf. But Decaf dumps every little bit of boost to clear that out and keep this game in favor of Akron. Decaf puts it into the corner. Savage, a little bit too much power. So instead, Panda dropping it down. That's going to be wide. But Decaf didn't want to let it go in nonetheless, not even letting it be to chance. And instead chooses to swat all the way down the pitch. Panda with the follow, redirect off the backboard. Pineapple's there, splits the 50. It's a little wide left. So it looks like with only 13 seconds left to be played, unless New Orleans can pull out a miracle here and steal game 3, or at least force an OT, this is going to go in favor of Akron. And I am kind of shooketh. Do I really have all caps turned off for chat? That's hilarious. I'm not even going to hold these guys up. We're just going to let them roll right into game 4. Series score definitely sitting in favor of Akron. Dangerous spot if you are the New Orleans Nightmares. You know that your opponents are one game away from taking the opening week series. You know how important it's going to be to start the season off on the right foot. We'll see how Panda, the Yapper, in chat here is going to be able to respond to a 1-goal loss out of game 3. Pineapple elevates quickly, gets it past 1, splits the 50 past 2, stays up pitch to grab the 100. But that leaves Panda in an awkward spot here, who has to split a dangerous 50 right in front of their own net. A lot of 50s, a lot of sitting on their back foot, letting the opponent come up and contest the touch. And I've said it before, I've heard it before. You don't want to split so many 50s, especially in the back third. You want to let your players who have speed beat the opponents, really just take charge and not let the opponents potentially dictate the outcome here. What a flick from Pineapple, upside down, shoots that ball like a rocket for the bottom left. Probably perfect placement off the rip, but not able to get it past the defenders because that stone wall of Akron is just impenetrable right now. Decaf, bit of a deep touch here. Carl able to take control, let it read. Savage with a very deep touch. Panda looking to drop it down, but Decaf dumps every bit of boost they have to swat that away. Ooh, Scion, Panda. Hustled up. Savage, what a read. There is one thing that I love to see is a player with just an insane read pace. I was about to talk about how great Savage was there, but Decaf is potentially starting to close the door on this series and shove us right into the pro line. Or right into the superstar, I believe. Actually, it's the next tier. Panda, deep touch. Oh, no follow, no two-man. Not again. Yet again, we see an offensive opportunity for New Orleans Nightmare to really establish themselves, get a goal, but their two-man is either out of place, a little too wide, or too far off pitch to read the ball and get the goal. Difficult spot to find yourself in when you're trying to play every single shot as an ISO play and not Team Rocket League. Savage gets it over 1, wants to keep this alive on the Akron back third. Carl pops it over. Panda, I'm not sure why they're going for a lot of ISO plays. They're not playing like a joined team. They're really playing as if there's 3 individual players out there. They're not really dropping it for passes. They're not really establishing a good 2-man rotation. And it's starting to scare me a little bit because this is a team that has all the firepower that you could possibly ask for in mechanics, and they're just not joining together at the seams. Ooh, missed touch by Carl here. Oh, blocked by Savage to keep their play-in hopes alive, or playing hopes alive, I should say. No one there to follow that. Darn. Oh man, I'm not sure why. They look so crisp, so clean in game 2. It played out well. They looked like the better team on the pitch, and now they find themselves just diving at the ball, using every bit of boost to just go after an ISO play, and it's not paying off anytime soon. Another 50. Definitely in favor of Akron as it keeps it back in the corner into no man's land. 2 defenders right behind the ball, and Panda is unable to get it through either of them. So instead, Savage misses the ball here. Panda has to dive, puts themselves in an awkward spot here. The save by Pineapple, shoving it back into the corner, just really prolongs the pressure they've been receiving. Pineapple splits the 50 here. Pineapple's there, unable to elevate fast enough to redirect it back into the goal. So instead, we are going to see potentially the series end in game 4 here. New Orleans needs a goal, and they need a goal now. 40 seconds left to be played, and you really don't want to be going for a last-second hopeful miracle Kobe shot. Decaf drops it down. Savage splits the 50. Pineapple takes it yet again. This this Akron team does not want to let it go to OT, but it's potentially going to be there as Panda finally receives a pass, is able to slot this on the left-hand side. Oh my. Ooh, Savage. Scion with the elevation. Can't quite get it over one. It looks like Pineapple does not want to let this end in regulation. Oh, a mistouch by Panda. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, as Panda is unable to extend their car. Or sorry, Savage is unable to extend their car there on the backflip. Bit of a misrotation. And instead, what looked like an equalizer going into OT looks like the door finally shutting on New Orleans here in this Pro Series. Once that hits ground here, that will be probably it. Panda and Savage are unable to get to it. That is the series going in favor 4-1. I'm going to go ahead and throw it right to the city skyline, and we will come back to you once I figure out exactly where we're going to be at with the superstar lineup. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute. Unfortunately, a bit of a change of play. Both teams, for some reason, waited for me. Not so. Unfortunately, the stream is going to be running a little long. Mr. Carl, are you back, my man?
I'm here and good to go, man.
Fantastic. So, in case you just caught that, neither of these teams were vying for the game to start apparently on time. So they've been waiting for the stream, and I'm not going to lie to you. Am I missing it, or were they supposed to already get started at their scheduled start time?
It's up to them. They can choose if they want to stay and wait for us to be ready, or if they just want to get going. It's their call.
Okay, if they're cool with it, I'm cool with it then. Life's good. But Ricky Whitlock, you probably need lobby info actually. Now that I think about it, because it
They
is
don't need.
not
They should have it.
it is not
They
the same proper lobby info that we saw Aqua
oh
getting gold
they
number
put
one
slashes
here.
in, huh?
Well, no, that's the username and then password.
Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, these silly
Yeah, for
guys.
some reason these silly guys did not.
At some point the league will like the league has normalized it, but at some point the players themselves will actually start paying attention.
At one point we'll see it, but as we
This
get
is game
into
one, I assume.
yeah, this is game one. This is game one. As we get into
Yeah.
yapping here, this blue team probably. I'm really hoping that's Akron. Yeah, because Aqua's on orange.
Yep.
I'm not sure. They didn't name the teams. What is this scuffed NA production?
Did you notice how when I was the host of the lobby last time, everything was perfect? I
That
just want to
was
point that
teams
out.
were right, but it's almost like you know what we're looking for as casters.
That
Oh
may or may not
God.
be true.
What? Anywho, uh,
What were your thoughts on the previous professional game we just all watched?
I was
I didn't
kind
get to
of
hear you talk at all. So
I was kind of flabbergasted. Game one was a bit of a blowout. I did not expect game two to be in
yes,
favor of New Orleans at all. It felt like they had found their
neither did
footing.
we.
It felt like they found their footing, and then game three and game four being as close as they were was just a bit of a bit of a shock, I should say. But all in all, really well played, Carl. Really well played.
Thank you, thank you.
It is kind of bonk though that as I'm watching here. There is a supersonic legend on the pitch. Am I? Can you refamiliarize me with the ranks that are supposed to be in this tier?
Um, let's see. Oh shoot. How can I see the Aqua 3? Yeah, so I mean, it should be high GC2, GC3 at the minimum, and then at the highest, there probably are some SSLs. I mean, Aqua 3, he's actually in another league that I'm in, MCS, and he's in the tier below the highest one. So he's not in the highest tier in that league either. So it makes sense that he's here. I'm sure he was the first pick on this team, although I'm not positive on that.
What a
But yeah, he's good. I watch Aqua play a decent amount of the time. He's a fantastic player.
Just want to shout out that bump by
Um,
Miniquan to really open up the scoring opportunity for Maida's Nate. God,
and
dude.
this is a new Akron Superstar team. Last week in the preseason, it was Whitlock, Mini Naquan, and Doge. And then I believe just a couple days ago, they traded away Doge for Made It's Nate, I believe at the request of the players, but I'm not sure. So looking for this team to be even better than it was last week, since the players themselves are
Woo!
picking their teammates, as we see a heavy 50 there from Whitlock. Whitlock, another player I'm super familiar with. Whitlock, Mini Naquan, and Aqua are the players I'm most familiar with in this lobby. But yeah, Whitlock, a fantastic player, was the first overall pick on this Akron Superstar team. Could have easily gone world class. Would have definitely been a lower world class pick, but could easily have been drafted in that tier. I know, I've spoken to him since, and he is upset that he wasn't drafted in that tier. He feels he deserves it. So looking for him to prove to everybody that in fact they have no idea how good he is and that he should have been in that tier, as he goes for a bump and gets it. And this is an easy walk-in goal for Mini Naquan. 5-1 early for Akron.
Wow, man. Shades of the Pro Series already coming out here as the Akron side are really just levying consistent pressure across the pitch, and it's not something you want to see opening on. I I hate to say it feels like that's New Orleans style. Fall behind a little bit game one, really come back in game two. We saw that in the Novice series. We saw that in the Pro series. Uh,
Yeah,
but
you're right. Wow.
it is actually concerning how consistent it's being right now.
I
But
guess New
block
Orleans is a slow starting team, I suppose, over franchise wide.
Main is Nate, elevates, tries to get it past Aquas, who's is unable to get just a whole lot of gusto behind it. Evan, holy cow, great control, great elevation here. I'm getting an invite already. That is bonk. I hope that's not somebody from the later series.
They will be waiting for a while.
They are going to be waiting for a hot minute because we just started. Aqua, great shot though. Whole lot of power off that read, and that's goal number 2, and hopefully the morale boost they're going to need here going into game number 2 and potentially start changing the pace of play.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we see these New Orleans teams start soon, and to kind of get yourself away from the mindset of being down, you need to find something, a spark, if you will, as they start loading in some goals here. This is good for momentum because yeah, they're gonna need it going into game 2. They after a game 1 where they get blown out, you just can't be down on yourself. This game is so mental, and seeing some goals, even if it is garbage time, because these are some pretty garbage time goals. Just seeing them go in, letting the floodgates open, and getting more confident in the fact that hey, I can score goals, is going to be crucial heading into game 2, where Akron looking to put one more in, as they will, and they're going to look to just keep pounding the goals in future games.
So
If this is anything like the professional series, the next game will be in the favor of New Orleans, but I guess we'll see.
I'm calling it now. Game 2 in favor of New Orleans. It's a 3-2 affair. Narrowly avoids overtime.
Hey, I mean, that would be 3 for 3 then, going all leagues. That all leagues would do that. Just like lose game 1 and then New Orleans comes back and wins game 2 when it looks kind of grim. That's if that happens, maybe New Orleans just has a trend. We'll see.
I really hate if that's the way the franchise is going to play. Like, sure, if you want to start picking up games 2, 3, and 4, and you want to keep the casters and the viewers on the edge of their seats, you do you, boo. But my man, please stop. I can't handle it. Oh God, players are already on the pitch though. Everybody really seemed
They
to
are
be
going to get
rolling.
going.
I would say, at least for the Pro Series, we kind of kept things plugging along. I really did not take a lot of time between games to chit chat. It was more so giving
Perfect.
commentary in between during the games. Uh, Speaking of switch, Mini Quan getting a great shot opportunity as Aqua is able to clear that away. Evan quickly elevates, pushes that all the way down the pitch, tries to corral, and does. Mini Quan unable to make the diving save. And goal number 1 is going to go in favor of this New Orleans Nightmares team.
Yeah, I mean, so far, so good with the precedent that we've sent with these two teams facing off. New Orleans goes down big game 1, comes back in game 2, and they look like a different team. Obviously, getting the scoring started early made it Nate almost able to score one there for Akron, but a good job defensively from New Orleans to get that stop. Whitlock now with a flick will go past the ball, no flick for him. Made it Nate gonna shadow defend on Evan here. Gets a good touch out, but Aqua's going to be there to save it. Another good touch there from Matus Nate, defending his backline well, but an instant challenge again from Evan to put it on net. So far, a barrage of shots coming in from this New Orleans team. It's not what we saw last game, but I'm not surprised. The trend is that they just wait a game to start going.
You're not wrong. Miniquan looking to drop this down for their team, but that pass is cut out really quickly by Blocky, who just does not want to let plays develop like they were kind of allowing game 1 here. Redirect from Aqua. Miniquan, easy read, able to play that slow and play it patiently. Matus Nate elevates, looking to get it over 1, drops it down to Whitlock. Whitlock looking for the double touch off the side, and is able to corral this. Holy cow, you can definitely tell the elevation jump we've seen in the ranks of the players we're watching, as these players are really just making substantially incredible team passes.
Yeah, they're better than me. You can say it. It's okay. I won't get upset.
Okay, I try to make it sound nice.
No, but that is one cool thing that with this format that CSA does, where all the league games happen on the same nights and we stream them back to back to back. You really do get to watch as the night goes on that elevation of skill from novice all the way up to world class. Because I mean, yeah, the jump up from just one to the other is so massive, and now from novice to superstar, even a bigger jump. It is really interesting to see just that evolution as the night goes on, as Evan getting a great goal to make it 2-0 here for New Orleans. Whitlock with a fun little touch back down to him. Evan waiting there for it and gets over two. Looks like Matus Nate might have side flip, but I'm not sure he was going to get up to that anyway. And yeah, this like a different looking team from game 1 that we see for these New Orleans Nightmares.
It is absolutely night and day how patient, how controlled these Nightmares are playing. More specifically, Evan's just been popping off here in game 2. Speaking of which, Evan actually decides to leave the ball, plays that rotation smart, leaves it for Aqua, who's going to push up the pitch, tries to get the demo on the final defender, Whitlock, but is unable to make it. So, yet again, we are going to see an opportunity. Oh, Aqua couldn't quite corral the shot on an open net, and Whitlock deletes Aqua from the pitch.
Yeah, some mechanical brilliance there from Whitlock. Blocky attempting to, could maybe ground push it, but has no boost. A good touch there from Evan. Blocky still with no boost, trying to flounder around the blue half as he finally backs out. Whitlock now taking control. Going to end up 15. Evan. Mini Naquan will be here for the follow, but everybody and their mother jumps for that one, and no, he will not be able to jump for a double. Made it Snate. Had to give it away to Blocky, who then gives it away to Mini Naquan. Aqua going for a 50 here with Made Snate and gets it around him. Whitlock with a good touch around Aqua. One touch mid. Blocky going to be able to easily take care of that one. And now we saw New Orleans Nightmares offensive pressure for basically the entire first minute and a half, but now we've switched a little bit, and we've seen a couple minutes of consistent Akron pressure, which is exactly what they needed, as Mini Naquan gives them their first goal of the game with a 50 down from Made It's Nate, and then just, I think, a well-placed shot, maybe a fake coming in there from Made It's Nate. Fake It's Nate, more like it, as Akron now breathing some life with a minute and a half left.
Dangerous spot to find yourself if you're New Orleans. You don't want to let up a little bit of room here, as a minute 30 still has a lot of Rocket League left to be played. Whitlock puts it high, made his Nate in the follow, looking for the shot. That's going to be on. That's goal number 2 for this Akron Kings team. And I saw it starting. I saw Mini Naquan coming off the backboard, and I was like, there's no way he's going to go for a doozy here. No chance. That's definitely going to make his Nate.
Absolutely, I saw that too, especially from the bang there from Whitlock. I could tell the New Orleans Nightmares were a little bit panicked and out of position on defense, as that might be the same thing to happen to Akron here, as Medi Snake's missing, but Mini Naquan able to get this over, and 51 on Aqua here. Whitlock with full boost and ball possession gets an excellent 50 mid, but too unpredictable for any of his blue teammates to read. Another 50, that one almost in, but just a little bit wide. Made us maybe going for a cut. Never mind. Whitlock has it, and he can find a double here. We know he's capable. And then just a missed clear opportunity. I think that was Aqua, if I'm not mistaken. It was. He definitely had a chance to hit this thing up. Whitlock without the most powerful shot, but just too awkward for him, as that's about 30, 45 seconds. 3 unanswered goals from Akron. What a turnaround for them.
Incredible flip of the script for sure. Aqua underneath the ball, getting a little bit of contested touches here from Mini Naquan. Whitlock elevates, can't get it over Blocky, who's playing a fair bit more aggressive now. I'm wondering if they're going to play a little bit more aggressive up the pitch, knowing they've got 30 seconds left effectively to be played. And game 2 and potentially the series pressure on the line. Whitlock elevates it, just absolutely shut down by Evan here, who does not want to let this ball leave the Akron half. 18 seconds left to be played, Carl. I don't know if New Orleans has it in them, but they need a miracle here.
Yeah, they showed early on in this game that they're capable and willing to be aggressive and score goals, and it kind of seems like, yeah, like you said, the script has been flipped, as Matus Nate is going to add insult to injury with another goal for this Akron team. They went down. Did they go down 0-2 or 1-2? Have they scored 3 or 4 unanswered?
They've
I can't
scored
quite
4
remember.
unanswered. They were down 0-2.
Wow. I mean, yeah, and especially if you're the New Orleans Nightmares in this match, you don't going down 0-2 for game 3 is just the worst possible spot. You need, if you go down game 1, you need to bounce back in that game 2 to even up the series. They did the hard part. They got 2 goals, didn't allow any, and then all of a sudden it was just goal after goal for these Akron Kings, and there was just nothing New Orleans could do about it. The bangs were too bangy, the bumps were too bumpy, and everything worked out for Akron down the stretch, as New Orleans now faces an 0-2 deficit, and with their series life on the line in this game 3.
Predictions, my man, going in here to game 3. I mean, obviously, you're predicting Akron here, right?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to be nice and predict that New Orleans would take a game and that we'd see game 4, but no, I think we're gonna see the first sweep of the Knights on stream here, and I think this newly reformed, or this new rostered rather, superstar team for the Akron Kings is really showing out early in this season. and is showing the entire league that they should be feared.
Aqua's up off the backboard, looking for a deep clear. Can't quite get it past Matus Nate, so blocky. Not a lot of boost. Has to dive out and try to follow this. Great shot opportunity as Aqua puts it wide to the left and just out of reach of the goalkeep. Goal number 1. Shades of game 2 already starting to establish themselves. We saw them take an early 2-goal lead, and then unfortunately, just hammer meets nail offensive pressure from the Akron Kings turned into a 4-goal swing in their favor. So we'll see how well they can continue to establish their own lead here.
Yeah, I would say that getting this goal early is a good look for them, but that's exactly what they did last game, and we see how it ended up. So really hard to predict at this point if having this one goal is actually going to help them at all. Maybe a second here as 2 players diving for that could be a free shot, but it's just going to miss off to the left. Whitlock now with a potential counterattack, but Evan going to land and turn forward immediately. Is going to do it again and blocks Nate's touch. Blocky. 1 touch out to Aqua, who's to the right. Both players miss. Evan potentially with an open net, but just going to be too slow. Nate will be able to get there. Whitlock with a fake, maybe going for a bump. Evan, good touch up to his own side. Whitlock with a shot potential. 2 players go missing, but nobody on Akron ready. A demo from Whitlock. Mini Naquan up, maybe a slot, but just off. And that's the 3rd Akron player gone. And this could be a free goal, but Evan misses.
No!
Completely wide open. No Akron Kings players could even sniff a save on that. And Evan just ridiculously puts that to the left. He really wants that one back.
I talked about it earlier in the Pro Series about how important it is to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes and take the easy goals because then you don't have to fight so hard in the long term. That is definitely one of them where Evan's going to be wanting that goal back because you're right. Nobody, not a soul from that Akron Kings team was even remotely close enough to make the save. And just a slightly wide touch keeps this game 1-0. Evan tries to get it past Matus Nate, is unable to do so, so Blocky is up to stop the push. Mini Naquan passing up to Whitlock, Whitlock putting it off the backboard, but Aqua cutting it out for sure. 3 minutes left to be played here, and Carl, there's your equalizer from Mini Naquan.
I mean, yeah, it's tied up now, but especially if this game is lost by 1 goal by the New Orleans Nightmares, man, Evan's going to be kicking himself. Because he could have been up 2-0. That last goal could have been avoided. He could for sure have a lead up 2-1. But instead, they're tied with 3 minutes in a much worse spot without that lead, and still have hard work to do. So really unfortunate. That's definitely a low light of the night for the superstar team. That was a miss that we normally would only see a novice or maybe professional. I don't think I would ever do that personally, but you know. I know open nets are the hardest shot in Rocket League to hit, so sometimes it just happens.
Brother, I did that earlier today.
That's real. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that's
what
not
a save.
In there for Whitlock. Yeah, that was a ridiculous save from Aqua. I cannot believe Whitlock didn't find his way into the net there. As now they're gonna try to get some offensive pressure here to the blue half. Aqua will, but does not have boost to follow this most likely. Pretty even game so far, Boz.
Well, and what's bonk is like not only did Aqua were they able to swat that away, they immediately regained control. That ball wasn't shoved away, haphazardly. That was a very clear and controlled defensive movement. When you've got Whitlock, a player who's very easily going to no way, what is going on?
God.
Aqua,
no, you have to be kidding me. I'm speechless, man. I'm really speechless. These guys are GC3s, SSLs. Good bump there from Aqua. I mean, man, it could be 3-0. There's a world in which it's 3-0 right now, and they're likely to be seeing a game 4. But instead, it's tied with a minute and a half left. I mean, they had 2 chances where no defenders were even in the zip code of making a save. Good control here from Evan. We got to start making a montage of these. My goodness.
Brother, I am absolutely shook. I was so caught off guard because I was like, oh, easy goal by Aqua. Right in front of the net. Nobody's going to be able to save that.
Not only that, but Evan was behind him. Behind him, ready to take any miss. But instead of missing, if he misses that one, we are going to have an intervention.
Brother, I would have joined the pitch myself. I know I'm way worse than these players, but I guarantee you I would have been on the pitch.
Yeah, that's just
Oh
ridiculous.
God.
I mean, yeah, they know it. Aqua saying 3 open nets later in the chat. He is well aware of him and his teammates' lackluster shooting in this game, but no matter. Somehow, some way, they still find themselves with a lead with 40 seconds left. I mean, if I'm Akron, I am flabbergasted that we are still losing after those open net misses because I know it could be a lot worse. Mini Naquan goes missing. Never mind, he's staying on it. Maybe we'll get one more touch mid for a teammate, but just has no boost. 30 seconds now. Akron has some work to do as they are down 1 goal in fear of going to a game 4. They really want this thing to be over in 3 and just sweep them and get it over with, but it's looking like that won't happen unless something can happen here. Maybe a shot opportunity, a 50 there mid from Whitlock. 2 players going for a 50. Mason is awkward and has to just touch it back. Whitlock might have a free ball. Gets it over 1. 2 players are up. A bad touch here could be trouble. Minutes Nate gets a shot on a pass over to Whitlock, but it's knocked away by Blocky. Good on him for staying back. And this thing will drop. Wow. I mean, they're sneaking away with a win here, Boz. I don't know if they deserve to get that one.
I'm gonna be honest here, man. As a player, as somebody who's played Rocket League a fair bit, you do not normally get that many open net misses before you find yourself on the wrong end of a stat sheet. So the fact that they were able to steal game 3 here with 2 of probably the most criminally missed shots I think I've seen all year is incredible to say, and we'll see if they can parlay that into a game 4 win.
Goodness, yeah. I mean, that's obviously the plan for them. As looks like all the players are just really eager to get into this next match. As yeah, I'm sure the New Orleans Nightmares, even with a win, are trying to, rid that game of their memory and the
Yeah,
mishaps that came with it.
yeah.
I'm
You
guessing
just you
they're eager
file
to
that
get
one
into this
away.
next game.
We won, but we're not
That
going to talk about how we won.
that one will never get talked about again. Only me and you would be the ones to ever talk about it again. And just for them, I won't do it.
Oh
I'll be
God!
nice.
Just for them, game 3 was definitely a 1-goal game. Nothing else happened. Oh man, Mini Naquan takes a favorable touch off the corner. Is going to be swatted away though by Evan. Aqua with the follow, trying to establish some early on pressure, and Whitlock though is able to quickly elevate and clear that away. We saw a tremendous amount of pressure being levied last game from this New Orleans team. And we'll see if they can really continue to keep that dedication to solid rotations alive. What a bump! No! What are we
Oh
doing?
man. That looked like a pretty good opportunity to me, Boz. Obviously, I wasn't sure about all the boost counts of the positioning, but that looked like a pretty solid chance for New Orleans to go up here. A double commit from Akron. All 3 players now in the penalty box region of the New Orleans Nightmares. A 50 comes in here from Evan. Should be a big bang for Mini Naquan. Nate gonna realize he's beat and turn back. Has to jump for that and gets a good touch out to his corner. A pretty chaotic first minute here as Whitlock trying to slow this game down. A great bump there. I thought he might miss that
Brother,
shot.
I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was so
He
free, but
had the
like
angle. He could have crossbarred that, and I would have
I
probably shut the stream
would have.
off.
Yeah, no, I don't want to stream with you anymore if he's missing. Like I would have thrown up on my keyboard if he missed that one. But no matter. Again, it went in the net. Who cares? That's the only important thing. Is they're probably gonna find another one. So Whitlock went up to the ceiling here.
Maybe
Have to
controller
see this
DC?
back. No, he just
No?
went up to the ceiling. He
He
thought he
just
was going to be able to get to it, realized he had no chance and turned back, but it wasn't enough. Interesting strategies from the Akron Kings kickoff department as now quick lead here for New Orleans 2-0 with 4 minutes left.
I do want to say I did receive word. I believe it's the world class tier, which would have been after this, has already completed their series. So this is it. This is the last series on
Wait,
stream.
so they just are you serious?
They did not wait for the stream. They just wanted to get it going, and they played.
That's completely fair. Hey, I get to go eat my food earlier. I'm okay with that.
That's hey, you know what works for everybody. All intents and purposes. Evan,
Because
mechanically,
what time is their game supposed to start?
19 minutes ago.
Forget. Seriously. Huh.
Oh
Well, would you
God,
look
is
at
that a
that?
sweep? That would have to be a sweep in
It must
19
have
minutes.
been. It was pretty quick. Yeah, it had to have been.
Ooh,
Yeah, look at that.
difficult.
9. Yeah. But again, I also think, they sent, I don't know, they must not have normalized this across the entire league, but the casters at least received a message that it would be 40-minute intervals in between games and not 30 this week. So on the schedule, I do still see 30, so that just must be something that wasn't told to the players, or maybe they didn't actually mean it and they just talked about it. I'm not sure. Either way, last series of the night, it's an exciting one as it's tracking right now. We're going to see a game 5, and I can't believe it because the first 2 games look so well for Akron as we see another goal coming in from New Orleans here.
They played early. Huh.
Oh, did they? That makes sense. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure they wouldn't want to wait.
Also, this is now the offensive position that New Orleans could have been in Game 3. It's the goals that weren't falling are falling now, and it's incredible to watch because this New Orleans team is just rattling off incredible shot after shot, and I'm not necessarily certain if Akron's got it figured out just quite yet.
Yeah, now with 3 down, they've dug themselves a pretty gnarly hole with just 2 minutes left against a solid team like in Superstar. It's tough to score 3 goals in this quick succession. We saw they did it a couple games ago. They scored, I think, 3 goals in like 45 seconds. That looked like a great opportunity, but no one there. Aqua, I know he can double D.
Wow!
He does. I'm actually not surprised in the slightest that he made that shot. It looks impressive, but I've seen him do so many things like this that I was never worried about him scoring this
Brother,
goal.
I saw Game 3.
What a shot there from Aqua. That is, you did, yeah, no, that's the best rebuttal you could have given me right there.
I saw Game 3. I'm just happy to see the ball go in the net a plethora of times as this New Orleans team has really figured it out finally, and it is paying off. 4 goals. Aqua, I mean, that was, look, I thought it was pretty. Mini Naquan, a great touch over Aqua, not even letting him get an opportunity there. Evan, incredible read, saw the pass developing for Whitlock, pushed it back into the corner and avoided the danger. That is a difficult spot though for Evan, as that lob touch there was just barely high enough to get over the goalkeep and slot in for goal number 1 in favor of Akron.
Yeah, I mean, can't mount a comeback without that first goal. As we know, it's still 3 to go. A large deficit staring down at the Akron Kings, but getting one, it's not completely over. It helps their odds just a little bit as a free clear here from It's Nate. 50 here from Blocky. 2 players whose teammates over there ready to take care of this ball. I mean, Nathan with a good touch. Whitlock will get clean beat there by Blocky to that one. A bump, though, comes out, and this could potentially be... Never mind, it was a good 50 there from Blocky. Good job on him keeping it in. A touch mid from him. Whitlock going to have to get a 50, and does, but not really super playable for this Akron team. Mini Naquan going to go boost over ball here. We all do it. Aqua, no boost, but trying to get anything he can going. Mini Naquan going to call that one off. A pass over to It's Nate. Going to have to try to get something going, but it gets immediately dunked by Aqua, and it's looking like this one might be over, boss.
I would definitely say so. I mean, 3 goals in 30 seconds for any tier would be difficult, let alone when every single player on the pitch is just well versed in substantial mechanics and rotations. So I'm willing to bet that even if there's a garbage time goal here in favor of Akron, this one's in the books.
Yeah, this one's all but over as these formality of last 10 seconds crawl down. I mean, and we're seeing a game 5 here. If you told me after game 2, we'd be in game 5, I'd tell you that you're a liar. I'd tell you that you're lying to my face. But here we are. The New Orleans Nightmares have found their strides after going down 0-2, and looking down the barrel of a reverse sweep is the Akron Kings. It's never where you want to be. All the pressure's now on them to not get reverse swept. My goodness, what a series so far. I'm sure this game 5 is going to be incredible. And overtime would just be cinema.
Brother, after game 2, I'm talking after game 3. Game 2, I'm sitting there going, yeah, it's probably over. It's a difficult pill to swallow. It's definitely going to be a sweep. And then after game 3, I'm like, they won, sorta. Going into game 4, I was like, okay, this is probably over. I can get my night going. I can move on with myself. And now I'm sitting here going, holy cow. They finally said, hey, so you know the thing we talked about early on where New Orleans gets really hot at the back end of the series and starts off really bad? Yeah, we're going to do that.
It's incredible. I mean, we obviously the World Class Series is already over and gone, but I'd be really interested to see how that series began. To see if Akron took Game 1 in a somewhat dominant fashion, and then
Oh
and then
God.
New Orleans comes back a little bit because that would be pretty funny.
Ah, I think funny is not quite the right word. I think sad is a
Yeah,
much better
it
term
might
for
be.
that. But
Do you know who won that World Class Series, by the way?
no, I don't. I'm gonna have to reach out to Dondo and see what he's got. But
Gotcha.
we'll get this underway here. Dondo, I know you're watching the stream. Shoot me a message if you know if you know who took the dub here. Aqua getting the kickoff in favor of New Orleans, but Made as Nate is there to quick respond. Evan elevates. Whitlock does not want to let Evan take any room off the ground with the ball. And instead, Mini Naquan has to make a zero boost save here. Whitlock with the easy follow. I think that might have gone in without Whitlock's touch, but Whitlock's like, yeah, I'll take that extra freebie. That's all right.
Might as well, yeah. Stat patter. Yeah, it never hurts to get some extra points. I'm sure they track all the stats with the ball chasing replays. So yeah, it doesn't help. Every goal goes a long way. Early
Uh,
start there for Akron is what they needed because the last two games have looked pretty grim for them, not able to find their stride and just allowing just not really scoring much and just allowing goals. It's really that simple. You know, you can't expect to win many Rocket League matches if you're not scoring and you're letting the other team score. So looking to flip that script here in game 5. Potentially a goal opportunity here. Made a Saint with a good touch out. Aqua gonna take this one up. Gets a good backflip flick, but Nate sitting on the backboard is still able to take care of that. A bang
what
here
a
from Mini Naquan,
bang.
and that one is gonna find its way in the net. Excellent power shot from him as he realizes that nobody was back in time to save it. And look at the start here for Akron, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It is not the spot you want to find yourself if you're New Orleans. You fought and clawed your way back to a 2-2, back to a decisive game 5, and you really want to steal the series. Dangerous spot, really, to be down 2 goals with 4 minutes. I know it's 4 minutes left to be played. It's still a lot of time, but that's still a huge deficit, and that might be the only 2 goals we see all game, especially with how talented these players are. Aqua able to stall the ball, can't quite follow up with the second touch, so Made as Nate with not a lot of boost is going to be able to elevate. Evan takes control, putting it off the backboard here. Whitlock, though, doesn't want to let it play out, doesn't want to let him make decisions. Tries to pass it up to Made as Nate. Mini Naquan with a quick follow, applying just that much more pressure to this New Orleans Nightmares defense. With 3:30 left to be played here, Carl, they need a goal pretty quickly to get the morale up, you'd think.
I'm not too indifferent on you with that one. I mean, it's looked dominant so far for Akron, shutting down all of the offensive prowess from New Orleans, and I don't see them letting up anytime soon. Their defense looks pretty solid pack this game, as they're really not allowing anything to even get close to their nets. They've done well playing the backboard. They've done well playing around each other. There's a potential shot here mid, but me and Naquan gonna wait for it and maybe shoot it again. But an early jump there from Evan puts that one away. Whitlock gonna dive and miss. Now it's looking grim. Maid's Nate's the only one back, but he does collect a boost. Aqua with a fake, but that one was passed mid by Maid's Nate, and now we see a goal for the New Orleans Nightmares. Let's see. He gets a touch there. He just touches it mid. I don't know if he thought if he was gonna get 50'd by his teammate or by an opponent, or if he thought he had a better touch, but on surface value, that one is just a pass mid from Made It Nate. Not what you want to see.
I don't know. I think that's exactly what I want to see as a supporter of the New Orleans Nightmare
Yeah,
here.
whatever.
Dangerous
Yeah, how's
spot
that?
as
How's that one?
Whitlock. Yeah. I see it. I see it. Whitlock able to open up the goal yet again and push this to 3-1. All that work done from New Orleans Nightmares immediately dashed as they find themselves down 2 goals yet again. My man, this is, if you're New Orleans and you've come back, you fought to get back to a potential game 5 in a deciding match, and you find yourselves down 2 goals, what's going through your mind at least?
I mean, if I'm, let's see, there's a lot of thoughts going through my mind about this series, yeah, Baz. I mean, if I'm the New Orleans Nightmares, 2 minutes left. It's kind of getting down to crunch time. It'd be really interesting to see. What I think might work is if they started going super demo heavy for this last couple of minutes. As we see a goal here from Aqua, great pass. I think Evan went under a defender to get this one in. He did. He just faked out an defender who thought he was going to go high, and Aqua's there to clean it up. I mean, 2 minutes left. That's exactly what you want to see. I do something maybe if they just went for a demo-heavy style of play that might work, because it's not something that Akron's really seen so far. But obviously, they have two. That's just one shy of what they need. They're starting to figure themselves out a little bit here in Game 5. Just under 2 minutes left, and Akron really hoping they don't throw this lead away.
Well, it's kind of tough, right? Because, like, as we look at our vertical cam here, incredible save on the goal line. They are just unable to find themselves out of that back quadrant, just being forced into a almost defensive last stand. Ah, God. Not even quite 2 minutes left to be played. 2-goal deficit already on the board. We're seeing New Orleans just trying to claw their way back, but every single time they are able to get one, it's just dashed away. You got a Whitlock or a Miniquan diving in to keep New Orleans' hopes and dreams just out of reach.
Yeah, you're right about that. Oh my gosh, I was about to speak, but Aqua shutting me up with an unbelievable top left corner snipe. Good pass down from Evan Whitlock, just has to kind of float and hope. I actually can't believe that went down. That looked like it was just pretty solidly on the backboard, but it is what it is. The Rocket League gods wanted Aqua to score there, and he did. Now we'll see if they can string a couple goals together, or if it's just going to be another Akron goal right back in their faces, as that's how this game's been going. As you mentioned, every time New Orleans finds one, Akron kind of just shuts them up by scoring one of their own. A little bit awkward here. Blocky going to get a beep, but Mini Naquan with a good job to jump up and stop that. Aqua gets a fake, but it just goes right to Whitlock. Another 50 there, just under a minute left. Mini Naquan with a shot that's going to go mid for mate. It's Nate. Two defenders commit to that, so maybe an opening, but no one willing to commit to that. As maybe a shot opportunity here. It looks a little bit awkward. Mini Naquan has to make a touch. Made a Snake coming in to save the day. 30 seconds left. And running out of time here for New Orleans, Mouse.
For sure, Evan trying to keep the hopes and dreams alive. Tries to get a push down the pitch, but Whitlock is there. Whitlock with yet another read. Evan tries to follow, but it's a swat away from Maida's Nate. Incredible touch to keep out a threatening opportunity from New Orleans. Probably their last best opportunity here with 10 seconds left on the clock. Looks like it's going to be popped up here. Evan with not a lot of boost, sitting center. Turns, pops it into one. Gets underneath, splits the 50. It's high center. Do we have any late game heroics from Blocky or Aqua? No, this is going to drop into no man's land. If I made his Nate, I'm letting that go down.
Yeah. No
There it
reason to
is.
keep that up. What a win for the Akron Kings Superstar team. Looked grim after they got pretty darn close to letting themselves get reverse swept, but they came in clutch in Game 5 when they needed to the most to shore up this series. So that's, let's see, Novice, New Orleans won, Akron won in Professional and Superstar. I guess we don't know the result of that world-class team. It's really interesting, Boz. I'm looking at the main stream here. Looks like there's only 2 series that are even left playing, and they're both world-class. So yeah, we were crazy behind schedule compared to everybody else.
Oh,
we
yeah.
wouldn't have even started world class yet.
We had a series. I can't speak. We had a 5-game series, a 4-game series, a 5-game series. We did not get any shortening. We got every bit of Rocket League action we could out of 3 series, shy of a Game 5 there for yours. I'm very thankful.
I was not letting that happen. Go to Game 5.
I'm very thankful you didn't. I'm very thankful you didn't, because holy cow, 5-game series back to back to back would have probably been a little bit too much for me. But it has been a great week, a great opening week for CSA. A little bit rough for the production side on my bit, but we're getting there.
Huh. It is what it is. I'm looking at your Twitch chat. Dondo says that the Akron Kings won the World Class Series. So, go Kings. We took 3 out of 4 on stream today. Only the Novice team dropping to the New Orleans Nightmares. But it's pretty hard, I feel like, to get a full franchise sweep. I don't think that will happen too often. So we'll take 3, though, any day of the week. What a day of Rocket League we had. Super exciting series. I don't think I have much else to say here, Boz. What about you, man?
No, sir. No, sir. This has been week 1. We will catch you all for week 2. It's been Boss Radala. It's been Carl. Everybody, take it easy.
See you.